Hello and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy, episode 514 for the week of Monday, August 30th, 2021. My name is Ryan Higgins. Who's here with me this week? Happy? No? No jump in? No? Bark. What the? It's just me. Hello, everyone. The dreaded one-man show. Have we ever done this? Oh, you got the peanut gallery in the back. I got Leanne screaming at me from behind me. I don't know where Brock is. He just never showed up. Toby's schedule just the change of schedule for our new scheduling recording dates. He's just not going to be able to join us for a little while. Hopefully, he'll drop in at some point on various episodes. But hopefully, he's going to be back soon. Kevin had multiple not Patreon. What the heck are they? For his great website. He had a bunch of Zoom interviews, so he wasn't able to do it today, which sucks because I actually wanted to talk about the dueling conventions that we had here in San Jose. So I didn't get a chance to go to them. Charlie, I haven't seen Charlie in weeks. So I don't know what's going on. It's just me, guys. That's all right. I'm here. I got a few things to talk about. I got some questions to answer, and we're going to get out of here. Nice short episode, unless 17 people join in the recording as we're going through it. So. I guess I'm just going to get right into it because give me a 30-minute podcast and get the hell out of here. I have an early night. I got to sort all sorts of comic books tomorrow. I got a long day. DC Comics. You guys know I love them. Everyone knows I love DC. They, unfortunately, are going to be delaying a number of comics coming up, including some collections, due to printer and shipping issues. This is not creative or problems DC specific. This is all production. Everything from Batman Reptilian, Batman Adventure Continues, Long Halloween Special, Batman Catwoman 8, Batman Detective, Blue and Gold, Lock and Key, Sandman, all the static issues, Suicide Squad, Superman 78, all the issues of Wonder Girl. Everything's kind of getting pushed back a bit. I've talked about this on previous episodes that we're having trouble with UPS and FedEx, and it's starting to go back as far as like actual problems with paper manufacturing, people at the literal lumber yards, the people that cut down the physical trees that make paper. Like there's a lot of people that have died from COVID and a lot of people that are not working still in many parts of the world. So, a couple creators on the retailer forum, a couple of publishers on the retailer forum did say that they're having some small issues. Mostly it's more of a cost than a stock problem with paper, but I think this is going to get worse. There's been lots of reports from people in the physical goods sector, a lot of bookstores, digital media, plastics, things like toys coming out of China. A lot of the plastics come from overseas. That they are seeing massive delays. So the fact that comics haven't been hit too hard is not too bad yet. So again, these delays from DC are minimal. They're only being pushed back a week or two in most cases, but it is because they just need a little bit of extra time. There's going to be less room at the printer, less trucks. I don't think this is going to be the end. It's possible this is just the beginning. We'll see what happens. I really hope that they get everything under control by the beginning of the year, and this doesn't really affect anyone. Maybe we'll get a couple delays from Image and Marvel, but we will keep everyone updated if this is going to get much worse. You also have things like the Batman's No Man Land Omnibus got pushed back to January 11th. The Deathstroke Christopher Priest Omnibus got pushed back to October 5th. And again, most of these are just a couple weeks. The Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes tabloid edition is actually one I've been really looking forward to for a long time. That got pushed all the way back to February 15th, 2022. I'm kind of bummed about that personally, but I can wait. I am really looking forward to that, though. So, yeah, if you're looking for any of those titles, you're going to be waiting a little bit longer, but hopefully it's not too bad. And hey, while we're talking about DC, let's talk about Batman. We always talk about Batman on this podcast. Who doesn't love Batman? I love Batman. You know who else loves Batman? Is Joshua Williamson, the new writer of Batman. Good friend of the podcast, Josh Williamson, is going to be taking over Batman after James Tynion is leaving with what was it, 117, 118? I can't remember. Oh yeah, 117, I believe it is. So Josh Williamson taking over the main Batman title. He did write Detective for a number of years, so it's not like he's new to the Bat family. But Batman is the number one book that puts our friend Josh in the driver's seat of the DC universe, and with Infinite Frontier wrapping up, and Batman now he's the big dog at DC now. That's awesome. Josh is such a good guy. He's such a good writer. Huge DC fan. Loves all the crazy continuity stuff. So I'm really, really excited for his run on Batman. And if you want to get a good look at the cover, number one, it's he's actually got the yellow oval is coming back in a little bit of a different suit, little cleaner lines, and I think that New 52 costume got a little busy. Really like the costume. I always like that yellow oval, so happy to have that back. But yeah, Josh Williamson on Batman, that's big news. I'm really happy about that. And finally, comic news. Like I said, not a ton of news stories this week, so probably would have been a pretty short podcast anyway, but what are you going to do? Sandman, also one of my favorite things. Had to talk about this. The original art, the very first piece of art for Sandman, which was an ad from 1988. It was an ad that ran in the DC Comics, is going up for auction at Heritage Auctions. Does it actually have? It is currently at $20,000 as of right now. That is the current auction price. It doesn't say when this ends. It says 8 days left, so got a little over a week. If you've seen the original piece, the original printed piece, it is a little different. They did edit the piece a tad, but it says, "I will show you terror in a handful of dust." Sandman, he controls your dreams. If you're a fan of 80s DC Comics, you probably saw this. Ad in every book at the end of DC. Mike Gingenberg, the first piece of art, published art ever to feature Morpheus, and with the upcoming Netflix show, that's going to be a big deal. So if you got an extra, $20,000 or $30,000 you want to lend me, or you want to, if you love this podcast so much and you want to get that for us, we'll be very, very happy for you. We'll find a nice place for it. I would say I'm joking, but no, seriously, someone buy this for me. Please, please. It's the first Sandman art. How can you not want this? It's incredible. Let's go over to movie and TV news, and we'll get some questions and get out of here. I said super short podcast. It's fine. I got no one to banter with. It's okay. That's all right. I'll give you the news. And get out of here. What else do you want? You want me to ramble for an hour? You get that normally. You want Brock rambling for an hour? Nobody wants that. You want Toby screaming? Well, everyone wants Toby screaming. We're not going to get that this week. You're just going to get me. You're going to get the news, and then we're going to get out of here. Nice and short. Flash Season 8 just wrapped up a really terrible season. I finally finished Flash Season 7. Holy shit. It's horrible. Like, I love the CW shows, but this has to be the last season of The Flash. I just can't see it going on again. It's so bad. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. This whole season I'm just going to blame COVID. That's all I can think. I just don't know what else they're going to do. It was just, God, I don't know. It was bad. They had bad characters. Nothing made any sense. It got a little bit better in the last couple episodes when they brought in XS and Impulse, and they brought back Jay Garrick and Reverse Flash. So you actually have like real characters in it, but the rest of the season, man, oh God, it was rough. We are getting not a traditional CW crossover. We're getting something different with Flash. So instead of a big crossover between all the different shows, Flash is actually going to be the 5-part event, Armageddon. And if you're a DC fan, you're well familiar with Armageddon, big DC crossover back in the 80s. And so, actually, when was Armageddon? There was Armageddon in 2001. But it happened in 1991. So yeah, not quite. Very, very, very early 90s. I don't know. I don't think this is going to have anything to do with Armageddon 2001. I just don't think so. But Tom Cavanaugh and Neil McDonough are coming back as Eobard Thawne and Damien Dark, and they're going to have all the different people from different shows crossing over. So it's still going to be kind of the big crossover, just all within the context of Flash. So Batwoman, Black Lightning, Mia, Queen is coming back. The Atom's coming back. So Brandon Routh is going to be back for a little bit. And then, so that's cool. Nice little CW crossover. But yeah, they're going to do it all within the context of Flash. And like I said, Flash needs it. It really is their premiere show, or it was maybe till the season of Superman and Lois. And God, it was rough last season. I don't know what they were doing. So I'm hopeful this gives Flash a bit of a boost, gets it back kind of at the height of the CW shows. Again, look, they are. You either like them or hate them. Like especially after Batman, or especially after Superman and Lois and Stargirl and the MCU stuff. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you the CW shows are the greatest things that have ever happened, but they are very fun shows, and the cast is very fun. I don't know what happened to Flash this last season. It's like every season has been worse than the previous, but this season took a huge dive. So let's hope Armageddon's pretty good. I'm hopeful for it. Hey, everyone. We're going to take a quick break here and talk about our friends over at NinePanel.com. Do you know there's a new place to buy key comics online? The website is called NinePanel.com, and it's a great way to find the back issues you've been hunting for. NinePanel is a marketplace, which means all the books listed on the site are from different comic book sellers and local comic shops from all over the United States. It's easy to search for key books and buy from as many shops as you want with a single, secure checkout. If you want to sell comics, you could do that too. NinePanel lets you create a custom branded shop page, set your own policies, and list as many books as you want for free. The site has a modern design that I think you guys are really going to like. Check out NinePanel.com today and start buying and selling. Finally, before we hit some questions here, of course, just like shortly after we record our podcast last week, is usually how this goes, the official trailer for SpiderMan No Way Home finally comes out. I read there's something like 300 million views in the first 24 hours or something crazy. Holy fuck, people. It's just a trailer. Settle down. What? You want to talk about it, Happy? You want to talk about the Spider-Man trailer? No? Okay. Sorry, my dog is loves to interrupt me during this stuff. Always when I'm recording the podcast, the dog gets... Whenever Leanne has to teach her class from home, or when I'm about to record the podcast, the dogs make all sorts of noise. Otherwise, they're very quiet. They know we're talking, just not to them. So they want to get involved in the conversation. No, look, I was hoping to have other people here to talk about No Way Home, because I want to get other people's perspective. I only know what I think. The trailer looks super, super fun. Right? It does. It looks great. Doc Ock looks awesome. We don't know what's going on. I'm just going to believe the rumors that every character ever is going to be in this, that all the Spider-Man are going to be in it. It's going to be some massive crossover thing. I just have the same problem I had with the other Spider-Man movies, where I do really like them. They're both really good. I just kind of want to see a Spider-Man movie where he's just Spider-Man. I don't. They make him kind of a sidekick to Iron Man, then a kind of a sidekick to Nick Fury. Now he's a sidekick to Doctor Strange. I'm just a little confused why this is the path Marvel has taken with Spider-Man. And the multiverse is not a Spider-Man thing. It was one comic where they really did this. Spider-Verse, obviously, Dan Slott story from a couple years ago. And Into the Spider-Verse was huge. And now No Way Home appears to be all multiverse stuff. And it's weird. I don't know where this comes from. Spider-Man never does this type of stuff, and it seems to be now his thing. So I'm clearly very, very, very excited for the movie. I'm really excited for Spider-Man. I just wonder if this may be their way to bring the Spider-Man character back into just its own universe, and because this is the last Marvel MCU Spider-Man movie, as far as I know. I mean, they could renegotiate contracts or extend it or do whatever, but I think this is it. I thought there were 3 solo movies. Again, if write in and text or tweet at me or something if this has changed, but the last I ever read, this was the last of it. So this might be a quick way to get all the villains in, and then they can just go. And then we can just have, Spider-Man's disconnected from the Marvel universe now. I mean, he can still be in it, but they don't really acknowledge the MCU characters. And then he does his thing, and now he has his rogues gallery, and they're all there, and he's not having to kind of deal with the greater MCU threats. I love Spider-Man in those situations, but it feels a little bit like the problem a lot of people have with Batman v Superman, including myself, where like you're starting at the end. It is kind of a weird spot. Having Spider-Man be like in space fighting Thanos is like not like the second thing Spider-Man should be doing. Like hold on. As a late incomer, I'm like almost done recording the very short solo podcast. Brock is here. That's okay.
I had some stuff with the kids, and I was like lost track of time. I was like, oh no.
Toby couldn't make it because he's been doing his thing. He's not going to be on regularly. I haven't heard word one from Charlie in weeks. Kevin said he couldn't make it, and I was like, well, Brock is, I guess, not here either. So I'll do a solo show.
Sorry.
That's all right. Well, we'll be slightly longer than I anticipated, but not much. We'll make it very quick and get back to your bratty kids.
Yeah, it's just like with having to go, like my whole schedule was thrown off having to pick up the shipment today. Like here, I gotta go here.
We did get our comics early, which is always nice. Doesn't happen too often.
Hi, everyone.
Brock, welcome. You can give us your opinion on the Spider-Man trailer if you did see it. I was just kind of wrapping up my thoughts saying, I like Spider-Man. I like the movies a whole lot.
Yeah.
I am a little surprised we keep getting these like Spider-Man movies where he's like a sidekick character to someone else. And also we're getting like now 2 multiverse movies of Spider-Man, which is like kind of not his thing. So
yeah,
that I expect at the end of this, Spider-Man will go off and Sony will now have the Spider-Man universe, and now they get every villain in the world to choose from, and there we go.
Yeah.
We're gonna get the merging of all 3 of the Spider-Men into. They're gonna Doctor Who merge into merge and then recast, because I mean he's not gonna. I mean, how many more movies is he gonna do? Maybe 1. I mean, this might be the last one. I don't know. Tom Holland. People don't last more than like three solo movies. That just seems to be like the end. So,
nobody can pull a Bond and just be there for a decent amount of time, right?
No. I mean, what? Well, Thor will be the only one, right? We'll have actually four solo movies. I mean, obviously these characters appeared multiple times in other places, but like, yeah, we're towards the end of, all the Avengers actors are done basically, except for Chris Hemsworth. So,
yeah.
And Mark Ruffalo, but he was, he wasn't in the first Hulk movie. So, I maybe we'll get one more Tom Holland Spider-Man movie to kind of like to set up whatever they're going to do. But yeah, what do you think of the trailer?
I watched a Spider-Man trailer, or was it an Inception trailer? Or a Doctor Strange? That's Doctor Strange, yeah. Trailer. Of course, I love that. I was like, okay, cool. We're seeing all this stuff, right? Okay, the multiverse stuff is going to start with this, even though technically we've gotten, variants from Loki. So now we're going to have even more craziness with Brand New Day. I mean,
yeah, it's not Brand New Day though. I mean, I know that's what people are looking at, but it's a totally different thing. I actually completely forgot that they revealed Spider-Man's identity at the end of the last movie. I completely
You forgot that?
I completely forgot, because it just sort of happens and they've never talked about it since. So like, I just completely forgot that happened.
Yeah, it looks to be another solid Spider-Man home movie. What is this movie going to do besides project us into multiverse stuff? Well, I mean, it's probably going to spawn more Spider-Verse stuff. Like, this is definitely something.
I think there's a halfway decent chance that they acknowledge Spider-Verse in this, I think it's possible. I also saw some people think that they're going to bring in Miles, age up Miles in this, and I'm like, that's possible.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that Train. There's a lot of stuff that they can do, but I think that because the funny thing about all of these Spider-Man movies is that every single one with Tom Holland it's been that DC versus Marvel thing, right? Where they have to have, Sony has Spider-Man, but Disney has to have their character in there a fair amount of the time. It's almost like these are team up movies.
Well, that's what I was saying. This sort of feels like, where you'd see Spider-Man well into his career with teaming up with all the people and, fighting Thanos and all that. We haven't had a regular Spider-Man movie yet. So,
yeah, because in the first one we had Iron Man. In the second movie we had
Nick Fury.
Nick Fury, basically, and then now we have Doctor Strange. Yeah. So, I'm excited to see it. I like Tom Holland. I like what they've done with this Spider-Man. The big reveal about Doc Ock was really awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
I really just wish that we have had so many Spider-Man movies that have started the buildup for a Sinister Six, and we just never. Well,
that's what I think. They're we're not going to do this again. We're not going to build it up again. We're just going to jump straight to it.
Yeah,
right? So I get that. But I don't need a Spider-Man origin movie. We've kind of already had that twice, so that's not what I'm looking for. But it is weird to see both the multiverse and him being a sidekick is now kind of a running trend in the Spider-Man movies, and neither of those have ever been a Spider-Man thing. So that's my confusion. Their movies are fun. They're just not really Spider-Man. So,
yeah,
I mean, maybe when it gets back to Sony proper, it'll be a Spider-Man movie, right? It'll just be Spider-Man because they won't have all the other characters.
Yeah.
So that's
For me, it's one of those things where I think, if anything, having the Vulture, Mysterio, a version of Electro.
Mm-hmm.
Who else do we have in this one?
We don't
have all of them
officially. Short of Doc Ock, we don't know who's in this. People Green Goblin.
Yeah, because that bomb is pretty.
Yeah, in the trailer you only see Doc Ock, right?
Yeah.
So Willem Dafoe, Green Goblin, is again almost likely to be in it. Jimmy Fox Electro is gonna be in it. People understand, but they're like, "Oh, Sandman's gonna be in it," and who else? There was other. Well, people.
It's the original Sinister Six is who again?
Yeah, Vulture.
So we have Vulture.
The original Sinister Six.
Let me see.
I don't remember who the original was. Yeah,
Doc Ock, Electro.
Yeah, Kraven, Mysterio, Sandman, Vulture. So Kraven's the only one of these we haven't had in the movies. Right? Yeah. We've had Doc Ock, we've had Electro, we had Mysterio, we had Sandman, and we had Vulture. So yeah, it's just Kraven the Hunter we haven't had.
They could throw the Scorpion guy in there that they had towards the they're that Kraven position is definitely a rotating position.
They're all except for Doc Ock, they kind of all are.
Yeah,
but yeah, I just assume that's what they'll get to, right? That they'll get to Sinister Six being the villain, the big team up in the next movie is all of them together. I don't know that maybe we get it in this, but it would be, again, I think a little odd to introduce everyone and then also get them all in, and then introduce them all, and then have them all fight, and then that's the end of it. You know, like,
yeah,
I would think that would be like the next movie. Like, you'll kind of get little one-offs in this. So,
well, because I mean, you're setting up, like, so this movie is going to set up Spider-Man by himself, basically, right?
That's what I think.
Like, I think that, like, you know, we could see Miles, we could see Spider-Verse stuff. All of this stuff is there. But I think that this is going to set it up so that Tom Holland is not associated with the MCU in the next movie.
Yeah.
And that they can...
Again, unless something has changed, this is it. So, you know, they could probably renegotiate and do more. I'm sure Sony would love it.
It's Spider-Man.
But I don't think they need to. Right? I mean, I think if they keep him around. And, you know, I have no problem with them bringing in Miles, but, man, that just make 2 movies. Like, there's no reason for Miles to take over as Spider-Man in this. Like, have 2 movies. They would both be incredibly successful, plus your animated movie. So, like,
exactly.
Yeah, like, I think that would be odd if they had Miles take over, and then he's also the main person in the animated movie. It's like, you can do both, guys. Like, you can have Peter and Miles. Like, again, it'd be weird if they did.
Yeah, because I mean, didn't they want to bring Venom in? And
I mean, you could go crazy and bring in everyone in this if you want, as long as they're all going to be there for 5 minutes, and then you're just gonna, you know, punt them over into their own universe, and they can do a real Sinister Six movie. But yeah, there's no way they're going to introduce all these concepts and all these characters and then be like, oh, this is the Sinister Six movie. Like, that'd be kind of a waste. Like, you want them there the whole time, right? Or multiple movies getting them set up. And I just...
I think that we're in for a treat with the movie.
I hope so. Yeah.
You know, I am hopeful that it doesn't suffer from Spider-Man 3 issues.
Well, the third ones tend to be, I mean...
you know,
ones tend to be
Homecoming
rough.
Was great. Far From Home was excellent, right? It was good. It was solid.
Yeah. I give both like A-minuses, I think.
Like, I prefer Homecoming to Far From Home, but that's just... I mean, the difference is so minor. I think the issue is that it, like... the track record with Spider-Man on increasing the amount of villains in the actual movie.
Well, that's why I think they bring everyone in for a 30-second scene, but you're not going to have like 6 main villains in this movie. Like, you need a whole other movie to just bring the villains together. You know, it'd be like, we're going to bring these characters together and then they all go away by the end of it. It's like, well, that feels like a waste, you know?
Well, I mean, that's what happened in Spider-Man 3. I loved Spider-Man 3 up until the sewer scene where Sandman goes down the drain.
Yeah.
After that, the movie is complete and utter trash.
Yeah,
it falls apart.
Well, you can tell Venom is so tacked on to that. Yeah, that was...
Like, everything on that movie is just like, ugh. But, like, that Sandman character, like, I can't remember the actor who played him, but I really liked that.
It was good.
Like, they did that really, really well. I was like, all right, we're going to see something. And then the end just died on it. So, but yeah, I mean, fingers crossed we get another solid Spider-Man movie. And
well,
maybe Johnny Storm will show up in this one.
Says December. We'll see.
Well, so
Shang-Chi's, if Shang-Chi flops,
it'll flop hard.
Then forget it. You're not going to see Eternals this year. You probably won't see Spider-Man this year. I just don't think they're gonna. I think they'll just pull them. If Eternals completely tanks, I just don't think they're gonna pull them. I mean, numbers are so bad.
It's one of those things where we're still in the middle.
Numbers, are so bad.
We're still in the middle of a pandemic, and you're trying to run these experiments of movie theater only, and it's like, take the money where you can get it. And then when we're done with the pandemic, do something like a double feature or something, right? Like, you know, hey, come watch this and this movie back to back, or, you know, like, try to get people to come in and see it on the theater, right? Experience in the theater for the first time, right? But having it be like, Shang-Chi is only in theaters, I'm like, yeah, I'll see you guys on when it's free.
Yeah,
or when
like I said before, short of Catwoman and Elektra, I'm pretty confident that this is like the first Marvel or DC superhero movie I will not see in the theater opening weekend. Like, there's nothing I can do, and add Eternals and Spider-Man to that list if they're only.
Well, also Black Widow on that list.
Opening days. Well, Black Widow.
Oh no, you saw. Yeah.
So, what are you gonna do? We got a couple questions.
But hold on, especially with Spider-Man.
We're gonna get out of here so fast.
I know, but especially with Spider-Man, and you're not doing it digital with all the families. Like,
Spider-Man isn't coming out till May. They're out of their minds. It'll come out.
It'll be May 3rd, right? Because
it'll
like the first movie was
Saturday
May 3rd or something.
Yep. They'll push it back to May. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Shang-Chi does $90 million and fucking nobody cares. I got no clue. I'm just not going to be part of it. So, all right. For Brian,
anything else you talked about besides the?
Josh, our good buddy Josh, could be writing Batman.
Oh yeah.
Josh Williamson on Batman. Sandman art going up. That was pretty cool.
Did you take out another loan on the house to get that Sandman art?
It's only at $20,000. We can have a couple. We have a couple sales, and I'll pick that up. It's good. Instead of paying you for a few months, I'll just get that. So it's fine. You could say it's half.
Why is Ryan sleeping in the store? Because he can't afford to live at his house.
Mortgage Sandman art.
I can put a cot in the warehouse.
From our good friend Brian, he says, Titans Season 3 is amazing so far. I've only seen the first 3. I don't think we watched 4 yet, did we? Yeah, I got to watch.
Wait,
gotta watch 4.
I'm more caught up on Titans than you?
Oh, they're only up to 4, right? 5 is this week? Is
they're
5
already
out?
Up to 5.
Is 6 out already? Or 6
will be out this week.
Am I 2 behind? Holy shit.
You're 2 behind.
I thought it was just last week.
The last episode you saw, spoilers. Hawk.
Yeah.
There's 2 episodes after that.
Oh shit! I thought I only missed one. Because I caught up on Flash, I caught up on Stargirl. So I just have Legends to watch. I think that's all.
I'm not even. I don't know. The pandemic just CW'd me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and apparently 2 episodes of Titans and Doom Patrols. A couple weeks.
This month.
Weeks. Yeah.
It's. I think it's the end of this month.
Yeah.
I'll double check real quick.
Which says Titans is amazing so far. Who's your favorite character? I'm gonna have to go with asshole Jason Todd, aka Red Hood. The Dick and Jason fight was so good, and he wrote this a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, that was from their first fight. Yeah, the Red Hood is weird. I don't know if I like kind of the digital half face when it blows his mask off. It was an odd effect. But yeah, of course. I love Jason Todd. I have no idea how this is happening. I'm going to assume it's something to do with Scarecrow. Yeah. Unlike Loki, where the plot is clear and they're like, oh, random villain at the end. I'm going to assume, like Loki should have been, that the villain in the show is the villain.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not
but the show's not
anything.
over. Dude, when Scarecrow was involved, you can't trust anything that's happening. So we'll see.
It's good. You haven't gotten to the you haven't seen the Blackfire stuff yet, have you?
No. Okay. I think that's the next episode.
That's the next episode. That probably has a line that's going to be close to your scissor in the dick.
Titans are back, bitches.
And Titans are back, bitches. I think it'll combine the two, but not in the best way. We'll see. There still might be a scene in the rest of the series.
Okay.
But no, it's I've been enjoying it. I think they're doing a decent job with it. So yeah. I'm just like, where the hell is Raven?
Yeah, she hasn't been. Raven and Donna haven't been in the season at all. I mean, we know Donna's coming back. Well, okay, maybe she's back in some form, but we know she's in the season. But Raven hasn't been in it at all. I don't think
Raven hasn't been in it at all.
Yeah. Zach wants to know, what does the new podcast recording schedule mean for the return of a certain handsome Oregonian gentleman? # Bryce Bros.
Oh, I thought he was talking about Trip.
Look, we all love Bryce. He is unlikely to be on any sort of, not even regular schedule, but even barely. He is in full dad mode, off in his own non-comic world now.
I mean, besides me shipping out his comic books every month, I don't even think he goes to stores.
No, he does. He really doesn't. I mean, I talked to him. I just was talking to him about Premier League the other day. I'll talk to him from time to time, but it's not that he's not in the comics. He still is. His schedule just does not really permit for the podcast stuff. It's one thing. I think this is sort of like Toby's thing. Like, he had a day where he could come do it, right? Bryce was here. This was sort of like one of his days where he was like, okay, I kind of got a night out. I can do it like once or twice a month. But yeah, look, I love that Bryce on anytime he wants to be on, but his schedule just does not really permit for it now. Like
this is my first time at being a late guy.
But not to say he'll never be back. We will definitely drag Bryce on here at some point. He was just texting me about Falcon and Winter Soldier.
He hasn't even gotten to Loki yet.
No, he may have watched Loki first.
Okay,
yeah, but he had, I think he just watched Black Widow and Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Okay,
and not Suicide Squad or any of the other shows. So. And finally, Craig Anderson.
Oh, that Craig guy.
He says, now that Bendis is gone, what's our verdict on the Bendis era at DC? His Superman is okay, but nothing rises to the level of New Avengers. Has he done much for sales? I think I'd rather have what Johns wanted to spin out from Doomsday Clock with the Legion and JSA. So Bendis is still at DC. He's actually said he's still working on Legion. He's got the kind of the next half of his Legion run coming out because it just sort of ended. Like, it didn't finish. It just sort of
it was done. It was that title, I think, that wasn't getting as much attention because he was still focusing on his Young Justice and all of his the Wonderline. And
well, to me, Young Justice and Legion both had the same problem. They were just sort of like it's a bad Bendis thing where he never got to the point of the run. Both of those books just sort of existed, but like we go 12 and 18 issues or whatever, and like nothing really happens in any of those books. Like, we get Superboy back, and then that's sort of it in Young Justice, and then they're just sort of done.
We got Gold Lantern, right?
Yeah, but they don't
speculators.
Yeah, they didn't do.
No, they didn't do anything.
Yeah, nothing really did much in either of those books, and they kind of introduced like some plots in Legion that just don't go anywhere. It's an interesting idea. It's an interesting run, but nothing really happened. So
it's kind of the same with like the Leviathan stuff where stuff happens.
That's finally happening though.
But right? It's like now it's checkmate. Now that stuff's finally starting to
right. And that's my hope with Legion is that we actually get the story that Legion kind of sets up, because it just never we kind of over 12 issues we sort of get one story about who the hell was it?
It was what's his name's dad, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
And the Trident. There was a lot of weird stuff that was thrown into it, but it was
the Aquaman Trident stuff. I don't think does that ever really get resolved at all.
No, no.
It just sort of. Yeah, but it's all. Was it? Shit! Who was it? Was it Cosmic Boy? No, it wasn't Cosmic Boy.
No, it's what's his name? The one that has to pick his powers.
Ultra Boy. It was Ultra Boy's dad, right?
Yeah.
Pretty sure it was Ultra Boy's dad. Yeah. And it's like, okay. It didn't really, 12 issues to kind of do nothing. The art's great. I love the characters, love the character designs, love the redesigns, love Superboy in it. There's cool elements to that Legion run, but the plot just sort of never really happened.
So I think the biggest difference between Bendis at Marvel and Bendis at DC is that we never really had, Bendis wasn't the big dog. Right,
no.
When
I like the Superman in action. I thought that
stuff was great. Mm-hmm. But when he was at Marvel, his New Avengers, all of his stuff just it hit you, and then Marvel was like, "Well, you're running with this. You're popular. Do more stuff." And so he had events, he had this. We were seeing his Marvel universe unfold. And I think it was just it got to be too much, because the New Avengers run's really good, except it starts to just flounder right after a while. It's just kind of spinning its wheels. And And also just the amount of time he was at Marvel versus the amount of time that he has been at DC. But yeah, no, his Superman action stuff is really good. I like the Event Leviathan stuff.
And they actually did finish that. And I think the sales were okay. And sales on Young Justice and Legion were definitely higher than they would have been if it's just some random person.
Yeah.
So,
his Justice League is okay. I'm not caught up with it, but it's okay for what it is so far.
For Young Justice? Or
for Justice League.
The current Justice League?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting story. But again, it's his backdoor Naomi book, which again is fine, but until we get the real Naomi book. But the current arc has been pretty good. So yeah.
No other news?
I do like. Oh, what's that?
Was there anything else interesting news-wise?
No, of course not. No, nothing to talk about. Rumor from Bleeding Cool, of course, because we record. So that means something. The rumor is something major from Marvel is dropping tomorrow. So
you mean Dark Ages?
When I wake up tomorrow, I'll see if there was some massive Marvel news. We'll find out.
Like Dark Ages or something? Well, it's when everybody listens to this.
Yeah. They're going to hear this and they'll be like, oh my God, Marvel's going out of business. They do talk about it. Whatever it is.
Marvel's going out of business.
Yeah,
that's right. I'm trying to get Mitch Gerards on Twitter to admit he's kickstarting his art book of whiskey bottle labels. I'm serious.
Yeah. I saw that. That'd be cool. That'd be awesome.
Trying to get him to commit. He won't commit. He's just teasing me.
All right. Look at that. I'm not even a 40-minute podcast. Look at I can get the hell out of here.
Look at how happy you are when
go to bed early tonight. Look at this. Oh, I love it. You stopped it from being you stopped it from being like a 25-minute podcast. So,
well, yeah, I'm sorry I was late. I had some other things.
That's all right.
Right.
We'll definitely get Kevin's con report next week when he's on.
Oh yeah, he picked up something awesome.
Yeah, he'll tell you next week.
Did he message you a picture of it?
Yeah. He's got some art. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
We'll let Kevin talk all about it next week.
Oh yeah, but I don't know. A lot of people were like, "Yeah, I don't want to go to the con." That's where people are.
Yeah, I'm just sort of like, man, not really my thing. Anyway, we got to thank our good friends, and this we should have some different people on for next month because we're at the end of our Patreon cycle here. So next week, I'm sure we'll have maybe something different, maybe not. Who knows? We'll find out next week. Joe Duff, Craig Anderson at ClearPathCoaches.com, Jimmy Rivera at the Social Forum Podcast, Talon Bray, and as you heard earlier in this episode, our good friends over at NinePanel.com. Thank you all very much for your continued support at Patreon.com/Comic Conspiracy. You can go over to ComicConspiracyPodcast.com, Apple Podcast, and Spotify for all our previous episodes. You can also head over to comicsconspiracy.biz and buy some stuff from us there. That's always a fun time. Lots of comics on there. And give us a couple months, and suddenly there's going to be a lot of stuff on our website where we're prepping. Warehouse is going good. A lot of prep work getting done. A lot of stuff going to be up there.
So much.
Give us a little bit of time, but yeah, we're getting stuff working. A lot of collections coming in. ConspiratorBrock.com. That's Brock's blog. Pull lists, unboxing videos, all sorts of stuff on there. Use some Kickstarter videos on there.
Mm-hmm. They're finally starting to roll in.
Oh, yeah. Well, they take a while.
They take even longer because of the COVID stuff.
Yeah.
Every other update from Kickstarter people is, we're on a container, or we're waiting to get on a list to get on a container.
Yeah, well, that's That's what I was saying earlier about the delays from DC. This is just going to affect everyone.
So. Yeah, because they weren't they. What books are delayed? I know Batcat.
Yeah, just again, everything just pushed back a couple of weeks. Nothing.
Yeah,
I mean, it's some big books, but nothing major.
Yeah.
Head over to Wonders of the Fourth Dimension. That's Charlie's Doctor Who podcast. Between the Panels at fanbasepress.com. That's Kevin's weekly interview series. Big creators. He gets all sorts of cool creators on there talking about comics. Go check that out. That's Kevin's weekly interview series. And leannehill.com. That's my wife Leanne's website, and you can see her art on Etsy at etsy.com/shop/Leanne Hill Art. She has lots of art up there, but her most popular by far is her Haunted Mansion fan art that she does up there. A bunch of tarot cards and change portraits and cool other stuff. We are getting close to October, and she is shipping out at this point. It seems like daily orders for her Haunted Mansion art. So make sure you pick up that stuff and get it in ASAP. If you're having a cool Disney themed Halloween party this year, one, be safe, but two, buy some art from Leanne. Yeah. If you're on Twitter, go to Ryan Higgins Ryan and follow me on there. Brock is Brock Sager. Toby's Toby XI. Charlie's Insanity and Chaos. Kevin is that Kevin Sharp, and the store is Comics Con Store. Give us all a follow. And please check out Geekbox. No Geekbox this week. We're on our skip week, so of course I'll be on next week to talk about all sorts of garbage. And our good friends over at Manga Machinations. Thank you all for your support. Okay, we're going to get out of here. Thank you all.
Later.